Hi kids, today English lesson is on grammar component. The grammar component that we are going to learn today is relative pronouns. Who, whom, and which. Here are a few examples on how to use relative pronoun in sentences. The words involved in the sentences are called relative pronouns. Example 1. The man who lives in the bungalow is my uncle. The relative pronoun here is who. We use who as a subject to refer to the man. Example 2. They hired the man whom we interviewed yesterday. The relative pronoun in this sentence is whom. We use whom as the object to refer to the man. Example 3. The car which my brother was driving last night was my father's. The relative pronoun here is which. We use which as the object to refer to the car. Therefore, from the sentences just now, we can classify that relative pronoun who and whom are used to refer to people, while the relative pronoun which is used to refer to objects. For further understanding, let's do this tutorial together. In this tutorial, we will identify whether to use who or which based on the subject given in the sentence. For example, let's take a look at number 1. His horse is a female won the race. In this sentence, the subject here is horse. So, is horse a people or object? Of course, horse is object. So, the relative pronoun you use here is which means that the answer is his horse, which is a female, won the race. Let's take a look at number 2. This is the girl won the singing competition. The subject here is the girl. The girl is people or object? Of course, it's people. So, the answer to this question is who. So, the sentence is, this is the girl who won the singing competition. Number 3. The man is wearing a blue coat is my father. This sentence, the subject here is the man. So, can you identify whether the man is people or object? Yes, of course it is people. So, the relative pronoun here is who. The sentence is the man who is wearing a blue coat is my father. Now moving on to number 4. Kamini did all the homework the teacher assigned. Okay, this is a bit confusing. Which one is the subject in this sentence? Kamini or homework? Okay, how do you know which one is the subject in the sentence? Usually the subject has the article the in front of the subject. So in this sentence, the relative pronoun used will be which, because the subject is the homework. The homework is an object, right? So the relative pronoun is which. So the answer is Kamini did all the homework which the teacher assigned. Number 5. The shirt Najmi bought for his father cost 60 ringgit Malaysia. The subject in this sentence is the shirt. So, which relative pronoun should be used? Who or which? Is shirt people or object? Yes, shirt is object. So, the relative pronoun to be used is which. So, the answer is the shirt which Najmi bought for his father cost 60 ringgit Malaysia. Last one, number 6. The woman answered the telephone call was very polite. So, the subject here is the woman. And of course, you know, the woman refers to people. So, the relative pronoun should be used in the sentence is who. The answer is the woman who answered the telephone call was very polite. Okay, did you get it, kids? That was easy, right? You only need to identify whether the subject is people or object. Then you will know what relative pronoun to use. But what about who and whom? Because both of these relative pronouns are used for people. Okay, now who. How to use who? Who comes before the verb in the sentence, while whom comes after the first verb in the sentence. Quite confusing, right? Don't worry, we will look at it further in the next tutorial. Hi kids, in this tutorial, we are going to identify whether to use who or whom in a sentence. Before that, I must remind you that I use the abbreviation RP for relative pronoun and V for verb. Okay, now let's take a look at sentence number 1. My friend helps me with my homework. Okay, now the blank is in front of the word helps. So, if before the word helps, which is the verb, what should we use? Who or whom? Who comes before the verb? Whom comes after the first verb? So here, the blank is before the verb. So, what is the relative pronoun? Yes, the relative pronoun is who. My friend who helps me with my homework. Remember, who comes before the verb. Sentence number 2. He is the baker my mother bought the cake from. There are 2 verbs in this sentence. The first one is. The second one is bought. Okay. Is the first verb and bought is the second verb. So, what comes after the verb? Yes, whom. Because who is before the verb, right? So, if after the first verb, it was supposed to be whom. So, the answer is, he is the baker whom my mother bought the cake from. Sentence number 3. A sculptor is the person that makes the ice statue. In this sentence, there are also 2 verbs. The first one is and the second one is makes. The first verb is. The second verb is makes. So, the relative pronoun comes before the first verb. which is in front of the verb. So, what is the relative pronoun that is suitable for this sentence? Who or whom? The answer is who, because like I have told you, who comes before the verb, while whom comes after the first verb. But in this sentence, both of the verbs is behind. So, both of the verbs are after the relative pronoun. So, the answer is who. A sculpture, who is the person that makes the ice statue. Okay, sentence number 4. Ibrahim is the taxi driver. My father asked to drive him to the airport. In this sentence, there are 3 verbs. The first one is, the second one is ask, and the third one is drive. The first verb is, the second verb is ask, and the third verb is drive. So, if the verb is in front, means that the relative pronoun comes after the verb. So the key words here is after. So if after, which relative pronoun should you use? Yes, it is the relative pronoun whom. Ibrahim is the taxi driver whom my father asked to drive him to the airport. Good. So now, do you know how to differentiate the use of who and whom in a sentence? Remember, the key word for who is before and whom is after. So, if the relative pronoun is before the verb, therefore it is who. But if the relative pronoun is after the first verb, then it is whom. Okay, now it's finally your turn to try. But before that, please copy the notes that I have given you in your grammar exercise book. After that, then you do the activities that I have given you. There are 2 activities, activity 1 and activity 2. For activity 1, you need to complete the sentences with the phrases given in the box. There are 9 phrases given in the box. Remember to include who, whom, or which before adding the phrases. Look at the example given. This is the washing machine. Remember, the washing machine, people or object? Object. Okay, so you use which. What is the suitable phrases? The suitable phrases used here is I won in a contest. So, the complete sentence is this is the washing machine which I won in a contest. Okay, now you can try to do number 1 until number 8. For activity 2, you need to write sentences using the correct relative pronouns. Words are given to you to help you to write the sentences. You only need to identify which relative pronouns to use, who, whom, or which. Look at the example given. The words given are doctor, person, treats sick people. The relative pronouns that have been chosen to use in this sentence is who. So the complete sentence would be a doctor is a person who treats sick people. For your information, these 2 activities is in page 39 of your textbook. You also can refer there to do the activity. That's all for our lesson today. Thank you kids for your cooperation and attention. You may submit your book after you have done with the activities. Thank you.